Hello and welcome back. It is Gauntlet greatness time. 16 of the best decks in the history of Standard fighting to see which one is truly the most broken. I'm Randy Buehler, joined by Shadow Nutella. You ready for this, Shadow?
I am ready to beat you this time with Rexer.
Fair enough. We'll see what happens. We are in Group C this week. I think this is the group of the death. I think this is just the toughest group. I think Affinity is the toughest of the 2 seeds. I think Jund is the toughest of the 4 seeds. And the deck we're about to watch, Survival-Recur, I have no idea how good this deck is. It's, 1998, Brian Selden won the World Championships with this deck. It's been, I don't know how good it is. The fans voted it in. We're going to find out. Now, the opponent here, Caw Blade. So Caw Blade versus Survival of the Fittest, Recurring Nightmare. Should be an awesome match. Let's look at the Caw Blade deck first. So this is 4 copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor, a couple of baby Jaces as well. The Stoneforge Mystic combo. This is the deck that got Stoneforge Mystic banned in Standard. Stoneforge can go get a Batterskull. It can go get a Sword of War and Peace. It can go get a Sword of Feast and Famine. Just super crazy efficient. I mean, often just reshuffling after you Jace Brainstorm is awesome. Half a dozen counters, 7 counters, all of the mana denial variety. A little bit of fixing with Preordain. Squadron Hawk is where the Caw comes from in Caw Blade. Squadron Hawk just provides an almost unlimited supply of 1/1 flyers, all of whom can pick up a sword and attack. So quite good, and card advantage with Jace. You can sometimes get shenanigans where you're putting the Squadron Hawks back with the Brainstorm, only to then go get them again. So just a great deck. One of the pre-tournament favorites, has to be one of the best decks in the history of Standard, but I mean, they kind of all are, right? The opponent, sort of the cooler deck, if I'm being fair in this matchup, Survival-Recur. So the basic combo is get Survival the Fittest onto the table. This lets you go get whatever creatures you want, and the deck is all one-ofs. Then you can use Recurring Nightmare to get the creature you want out of the graveyard and back into play. Now, whatever utility creature you need, it's in here. Need to blow up an artifact? Get the Utabi Orangutan. Blow up an enchantment with Cloud Chaser. Bounce with Mana War. Kill creatures with Necrotal. You can fog forever with Spike Weaver. You can even fog a couple of times and then recur the Spike Weaver back to keep fogging essentially forever. Blowing up the opponent's land can often be pretty good. Attacking their hand. Now, those 2 actually aren't comes into play abilities, the Thrall Surgeon and the Orcish Settler, so you need a never-ending supply of creatures to sack to your Recurring Nightmare. That's where Verdant Force comes through. He's usually the fatty of choice, spitting off more food for Recurring Nightmare. Also, sometimes you just need a hasty trampling flyer, so that's where Spirit of the Night comes in. A couple of lobotomies could also be pretty good in this matchup. Anyway, a lot of 1-ofs. The 4-ofs are really just birds and the key combo cards, Survival and Recur. No way to tutor up the combo, but if you can put it together, it's awesome. So that is the match we've got on tap. I will go set up to play. I'm going to play the Caw Blade side. Shadow says it's because he's just been giving me the higher seeded decks. I think it's because he wants the cooler deck. Not going to lie. Anyway, hosting a match, Shadow. Come find me. Let's fight.
I found you.
Meanwhile, good luck to you, sir. I will meet you. We can talk more after the match.
Good luck.
All right. Let's do it. Lost the die roll. What do we got? Preordain, Stoneforge, Mana Leak, Jace. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish I had a 3rd land, but this hand looks great. Probably going to wind up preordaining for land. Yeah, I mean, we just want to hit Jace on turn 4. Well, land, great. I mean, it's not worth representing Spell Pierce. I'm just going to go ahead and preordain. He may be able to sneak a Survival the Fittest down, but what are you going to do? I don't want Into the Royal. I wonder if I want Spell Pierce. Kind of do. He didn't play a bird, so I think Spell Pierce is good. I mean, it's possible I should have pushed since I want lands, but I have the third land. Oh, he has no survival. That is good for us. Now then, do I tap out for Stoneforge? Do I leave up Mana Leak? I think I leave up Mana Leak because I really don't want to let a Recurring Nightmare hit the table. And next turn I can Stoneforge with Spell Pierce up, which is probably good enough. Spike Feeder. I don't actually care about Spike Feeder. I mean, I'm doing nothing with my mana if I let this resolve. But yeah, I just don't care about Spike Feeder. It's not what this game's about. Alright. Oh, but now I have to discard. Hilarious. Maybe I should have leaked it. No, I don't. This is perfect. 7 cards. Sort of Feast and Famine, I think, is better here than the Batterskull. Because it's protection from green and black, which is essentially his entire deck. And it lets me use my mana twice a turn. Alright, and then this is where I got that Spell Pierce so that I could feel like, okay, I can tap out for Stoneforge and he's not going to get to, like, lobotomy me. Or drop a Recur. Second Spike Feeder. He's actually on the beatdown plan this game. Interesting. Can't Spell Pierce that. It's a creature. Maybe I should leak the first one. Alright, now what? Alright, I can't attack with the sword. I can't attack with a sorted up creature. But I can get the sword into play via Stoneforge Mystic, but not if I play Squadron Hawk. Interesting. I can also play Jace. Actually, Jace is not awesome here. I think getting the sword onto the table and leaving up Mana Leak is better. Yeah, only having the 1 white mana means I can't play Squadron Hawk. Alright, we're going to do it this way. I guess I could have gone Jace +2. That sword is so insane. Wish I had Batterskull here, though. I didn't know he was going to be on the Spike Feeder beatdown plan. Batterskull would have worked out better this game. But it still works out okay. You know what? I could just randomly bounce one with Into the Royal. Except he can move the counters, so I'm probably not going to do that. Okay, so I can play a Squadron Hawk, equip, attack Jace. Yeah, seems like the play. And what? I'm going to play Jace so I can get all 3. I don't think he has any instant speed way to interact with me. Hope I'm not forgetting something in his deck. Yeah, I mean, Survival-Recur deck mostly operates at sorcery speed. I think completely operates at sorcery speed. Uh-oh. What does he have that I'm forgetting? He has Firestorm! Oh my god! I forgot that card existed in that list. And here I am all tapped out. I wouldn't have been able to counter it anyway. Wow, but I didn't have to have the Squadron Hawk on the table here. I could have equipped... Oh my god. Wow. Firestorm is in his deck list. I even have to discard now. What just happened? Yeah, having the Squadron Hawk, playing the Squadron Hawk first was just a catastrophe. That was really bad. What is he doing? Oh, I made a 3-3. Wow, that was bad. Because now I want to play Squadron Hawks, pick up the sword next turn. Yep, no, I butchered that. Because I didn't think he could interact with me. Oh well. And of course, now I'm tapped out, so it's Recurring Nightmare. He's going to get to sack the feeder, bring back Utabi Orangutan, and kill my sword. All because I just assumed I was going to get to untap all my lands with the Sword of Feast and Famine. Wow. How many Firestorms does he even have in that list? I mean, yeah, we're totally dead. I'm not coming back from this. I mean, my deck is brokenly but ridiculous. The power level of my cards is awesome, but he's got his combo assembled. I can't blow up an enchantment. I can hypothetically counter a recur, but it's a 5 power worth of guys. I'm at 10. I can play a Jace. It doesn't do anything. I can what? Play a Jace, bounce a creature. If he's out of lands, I can Mana Leak Recur. Oof. How many Firestorms does he even have in that list? Is it a 1 of? It's a 2 of. 2 copies of Firestorm. There they are. I was thinking about the Lobotomy 2 of. I just wasn't thinking about the Firestorm 2 of. Is it literally the only instant in the deck? It is, in fact, the only instant in the entire deck. Should have played around it. Now what? Wow. Yeah. All right. Your choices. He can fizzle this if he wants to. He can gain 6 life to deny me the card draw, but I'm okay with that. He can also pick up a 3/3 Spike Feeder, which I'm okay with. Jeez. Now, he can gain 4 life and pick it up, which is probably what he should do. But I mean, I get my card, and I'm no longer being attacked by a 3/3. Do not expect to be able to come back from this. He's got the Spike Feeder and 1 other card. So I mean, if I am coming back, it involves pointing Mana Leak at this Recurring Nightmare. Oh, the Undiscovered got picked up. So Mana Leak definitely gets pointed at Recurring Nightmare. Forgot about the Undiscovered. Do I have to Mana Leak that? I mean, I'm at 10 and I want to play Jace. So I am going to Mana Leak that. Not in love with this line, but Jace needs to find me like a Spell Pierce or a Mana Leak. Unfortunate Stick wouldn't suck. Sweet. All right. And yeah, I can leave up I can leave up Mana Leak and Spell Pierce. So I can Jace. I can survive an Orangutan hit. Divine Offering is terrible. Huh. So I know he has Recurring Nightmare, which means I really want to leave up Mana Leak plus Spell Pierce. Which means I don't really want to play a Stoneforge or Squadron Hawk here. Yeah, I think that's just how I have to play this. Survival with this. Bird of Paradise turns into... What is the Bird of Paradise going to turn into? Yeah, so I now know his hand. Thrall Surgeon. Oh, Thrall Surgeon's pretty good there. Now if I Mana Leak that, he either pays and can't activate it until next turn, or he doesn't pay, and then I can Mana Leak his Recurring Nightmare. I kind of like making him... Like, if I'm him here, I think I decline and drop Recurring Nightmare. Which is exactly what I wanted to do, because I can then Spell Pierce the Recurring Nightmare. But if he pays, yeah. So he declines to pay, which I'm also fine with. I got to choose the card the Thrall Surgeon hit. Now, if he's Psychic, he can do nothing and plan to play Recur next turn when he has enough mana to play for Spell Pierce. But, I mean, I get a Jace Brainstorm before that happens, so... Orangutan should probably attack Jace. Although I am at 8. Yeah, he's going for Jace. Can't say I blame him. Wall of Blossoms. Okay, I'm okay with this. It just wants you to choose the order, so just click either one of them to go on the stack first. Now he's got a card I don't know. And it was a land. Okay. I know I've got Divine Offering on top of my library, which is obviously terrible. So I think I play Stoneforge for a sword or Batterskull. I play Stoneforge for Batterskull. Then I brainstorm with Jace and see what's up. Yeah, now we brainstorm. Not much. Interesting. The question is, what am I doing about his attack? He's going to attack me through Utabi Orangutan. I could, in theory, double block it with a Mystic and a Squadron Hawk. I could tap out for Batterskull. That seems super scary. His hand is exactly Recurring Nightmare. So it takes him, he has to play it twice before he can get the orangutan back. Does have a mana to play it twice, but Spell Pierce beats that. All right, so I'm keeping up Spell Pierce. Right, so I can tap 5 for Batterskull. That seems super scary when I'm not that far away from having the 3 mana to pick it up again. So if I play a Squadron Hawk, then I get the little bit of card advantage. Putting a Squadron Hawk back, reshuffling. So I can do Squadron Hawk and Preordain. Try to find a mana leak. Right, Squadron Hawk, Preordain. Leaves 3 mana untapped. That all sounds pretty reasonable. There's also lines where I activate Celestial Colonnade, but that just seems like it uses too much mana. Get the Squadron Hawk. Oh, I mean, land that comes into play untapped. That's where I messed this up. I didn't think about the fact that none of my land comes into play untapped. Dope. I can get a second Spell Pierce, which probably is good enough. Hilarious. Don't think I want land. All right. Here we go. He needs to top deck a land if he wants his Recurring Nightmare to resolve through 2 Spell Pierces. That's the world we live in. I'm willing to trade the Mystic for the Uktabi. Ugh, seriously? He drew a land. So he can go get a Man of War or Thrall Surgeon. I have to let the first one just resolve. I have to hope he goes for the second one for the Uktabi. Well, I don't have the Batterskull exposed. Yeah. Could go for Thrall Surgeon here. It's pretty good. Oh, he goes for Thrall Surgeon and he gets my Batterskull? That would suck. Just, man, I wish I had hard counters. These counters are so tricky. Zero cards in his hand. Man, we're so close to recovering from that brutal firestorm. If he only had 1 creature, I could have dismembered his response. And then he'd have no creatures to sacrifice, but he has 2 creatures. If he, oh, interestingly, if he does recur for Thrall Surgeon, we can kill the other creature. He'll actually hit 0 creatures. We can turn off Recurring Nightmare with Dismember. But then I've got I'm killing him with Squadron Hawks. Unequipped Squadron Hawks. I don't know though. I'll play that game. If I have Jace, I'm on 4 life with Jace and a couple of Squadron Hawks against no creatures but Survival-Recur. It's a pretty close game actually. Interesting. Yeah, I'm trading. I'm not letting Jace die. He gets to kill his choice, which presumably is the Stoneforge. But now his orangutan is dead. Oh, I know. Oh yeah, this is great. I get to kill the Wall of Blossoms and turn his Recurring Nightmare off. Right? Yeah, this is great. He has no cards in his hand. I'm not missing anything. Recurring Nightmares is sorcery. Awesome. Coming all the way back. Alright. I have Batterskull, which I kind of want to get down. Squadron Hawk. I have Stoneforge Mystic. Wow, that's lots of things. I basically need to kill him as quickly as possible before he draws anything. Top of my library is fresh, so I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm. Baby Jace doesn't do anything. And yeah, more Spell Pierces is good. Back to Seachrome Ghost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can have 8 or 9 mana, so I can Batterskull, Stoneforge, Squadron Hawk. No, I can leave up Pierces. Pierce doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, he's in top deck mode. If he draws a creature, he goes and gets an Uktabi Orangutan. Man, what a crazy game. What kills him the fastest? I feel like Stoneforge and Batterskull kill him the fastest. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can play a Batterskull and a Stoneforge. Sort of a War and Peace doesn't actually... It gains me some life, but I don't think that's super relevant here. Batterskull. And I could leave up 2 Spell Pierces. Or I could play a 3rd Celestial Colonnade. Miss! Doesn't look like he missed. He drew a creature. He drew a Necrotal, which means he can go get, what? Probably the other Uktabi? Spirit of the Night. Spirit of the Night. Now Spirit of the Night's in the graveyard. Oh man, if I'd equipped Sword of War and Peace, I could have actually lived here. I could have gained enough life to survive a Spirit of the Night hit. Ouch. Maybe he'll mess up and attack Jace. Come on, Jace. No? Wow. All right, that was a great game. I'm not convinced the right deck won it, but he outplayed me for sure. Deck's got a lot of options. He top decks a creature there. So if I had, I could have gone Stoneforge. Instead of playing Batterskull, I could have played Sword, equipped Sword, and gained like 5 life up to 9. That's what I should have done. Yeah, that's totally what I should have done. I wasn't thinking about the fact that a top deck creature just plain kills me. The top deck creature just plain kills me. My bad. A couple of hard counters is useful. I don't know, Survive. Oh, man, this is tempting. Like it kills a Recurring Nightmare if he leaves it in play, which he's not supposed to do very often. But sometimes it happens, right? Especially given the way he's playing around my permission. Whew. Oh, I could have Fate Sealed him too. I felt like my hand needed help. Yeah, I should have Fate Sealed him. I should have looked at his top card. I mean, he shouldn't have let me dismember to kill the wall and turn off the Recurring Nightmare. I feel like, I don't know. Once he got me with the Firestorm, he probably just deserved to win that game. He's playing around Spell Pierce really effectively, and it doesn't hit a lot of cards in his deck. I don't love Sword of War and Peace. It would have actually worked out that game, I guess. I think, though, I need Batterskull more. Oh, I definitely need Celestial Purge, given that he's got Dread of Night in his sideboard. Yeah, I wish I had more, actually. Sun Titan's pretty good. I mean, it's just like a guy that brings my swords back after they get Utabi, is what he does. Interesting. It's such a grindy matchup. I actually think having a creature that survives Dread of Night has decent value. Yeah, that does sound pretty good to me. What do I check out, though? All right. Playing Brian Selden's World's Winning Survival-Recur deck against Owen Turtenwald's Pinnacle of Caw Blade. I think I keep this. It's not awesome, but it's got a Jace and it's got the ridiculous sword. So I mean, any Caw Blade, any creature off the top, I get the Caw Blade combo. I think I keep this. Yeah, I should have. Once he makes the mistake of letting me dismember, double block the Utabi and dismember the wall. Once he makes that mistake, I'm supposed to Fate Seal him with Jace. I'm also probably supposed to gain life, so the Spirit of the Night's not lethal. But I mean, I can definitely Fate Seal and see what's up. I just, in my head, I wasn't thinking enough about Spirit of the Night. Sweet. Excuse me. Sure, Wall Blossoms, no problem. I think I just tap out for Sword here. If he's holding an Utabi, it's bad. Oh, now I have a Jace. Interesting. I do kind of want to draw land. Man, if he's not holding an Utabi, orangutan to kill my Sword of Feast and Famine, then I would get to untap, equip Sword, attack, untap my lands. Shenanigans ensue. But without the fourth land, I feel like Jace is better. Especially I'm holding into the roll, so I can actually defend the Sword from an Utabi if I do it all on turn 5. So we'll play it this way. Chat's talking about all the decks that could be in this link. I don't see a CMU blue deck either, trust me. It makes me as sad as it makes you. Sad. Not happy to have that in play, but not like I had a counterspell anyway. CMU blue is very good, was insane at the time. It doesn't match up great against other historical decks. Well, we got to look with land. Interesting. All right. Now I can upgrade my Jace, which seems kind of exciting. I have 9 cards in hand, so brainstorming isn't spectacular. But I'm set up for sword. Defend my sword. I can also play Squadron Hawk. So what am I going to play? I'm going to play land. I can play land Jace. I'm basically playing 2 cards from this hand. So if I play big Jace, then I'm going to have to discard. What else am I doing? I can leave up Mana Leak. There is value in leaving up Mana Leak. I'm basically leaving up Mana Leak and Into the Royal for whatever that's worth. Weird. I can go land, Squadron Hawk, Mana Leak. That doesn't sound bad. I mean, I feel a little weird declining the opportunity to play Jace, but if he puts a Recurring Nightmare down, that's just so bad for me that I like the idea of building up my mana before I start playing Jace. Necrothal. On the one hand, I don't really care about Necrothal, but on the other hand, I'm drawing so many cards that I actually just need to kind of start trading them. So I'm actually going to counter this just on the theory that trading 1 for 1 while I'm drawing lots of extra cards is a good thing. Sweet. So, oh man, do I have to walk into this Firestorm again? I can play sword, equip sword, attack him, untap my lands. That's clearly how this is supposed to go. I mean, that plays so great here. I'll have up Into the Royal for Uktabi. I'll have Mana Leak for Recur. I'm kind of out of lands, though. Well, whatever. I can draw a card with Jace. Okay, losing that Jace, obviously I have the big one. If he has a Firestorm, I get obliterated. Well, I lose my Squadron Hawks. I don't get obliterated. I lose my Squadron Hawks, and I give him a window to resolve a Recur that I don't even know he has. Look, it's got to be worth the risk. Hooray! Awesome. This card's a backup survival, sure. Okay, so I can play Jace, but I'll be done. I won't have Mana Leak. I think I Tech Edge City of Brass. Yeah, his mana is not great. This leaves up Into the Royal or Mana Leak. Play Jace next turn. Well-Rest Stronghold. It's not quite Recurring Nightmare, but it does allow him to keep playing the same creature over and over again. Trade Wind Rider. Interesting. That can block my protection from black and green creatures, so same theory. Gonna say no. I like trading cards and hitting him with sword. He'll be down to 1 card in hand. He doesn't have enough mana to activate this and play that every turn. So it's like an every other turn thing. I feel like I can hold that off, especially with the Into the Royals. Okay, that's... Yeah, this is just Jace, attack, and see what's up. Now what am I doing with my Jace? Am I brainstorming? I like brainstorming. I even have a reshuffle. I could Thought Seal. I feel like brainstorming. I don't have permission. I'd like to draw Counterspell. I wish I could play Counterspell. I'll settle for Mana Leak. And I found it. Great. Already played a land this turn. Kind of want to back up Into the Royals. Not doing much. Yeah, let's do that. And I might as well preordain. I like Tech Edge. Alright. I don't think you can wreck us through Mana Leak. Yeah, not interested in Uktabi happening. Yeah. Alright. That game went a little better. Not gonna lie. That game was better. Man, that first game was a tough one. Sideboarding felt pretty good, right? I like the 2 Batter Skulls. He does have the ability to Uktabi through them, so it lets me expose one without being sort of having my deck be dead. I think 2 Dismembers is pretty reasonable. The 1 Baby Jace felt okay there. No Spell Pierces. Yeah, I think this is all pretty reasonable. I don't know if Spell Pierce makes more sense on the play. Spell Pierce does make more sense on the play. But what would I take out? Dismember? I enjoyed my Dismembers. They felt pretty good. Maybe Baby Jace number 2. Sure. All right. Game number 3. Will it be Caw Blade or Survival-Recur picking up the win? The way these group stages work, it's groups of 4, and we're going to play 2 rounds of Swiss. Whatever deck is 2-0 automatically goes to the top 8 bracket. Whatever deck is 0-2 is automatically eliminated. Eliminated like this hand. I can't keep 6 lands in a Squadron Hawk. No way. And then the 2 1-1 decks, whatever 1-1 decks are left over. I guess I have to keep that one. It's not good. But I mean, do I want to go to 5? I want to go to 5. Too much risk of not having lands. So the 2 1-1 decks will play in the 3rd round to see which one also goes to the top 8 bracket. So it will be a top 8 playoff at the end. 8 decks will play in a bracket to see who wins the Gauntlet of Greatness. Season 1 was won by the Memory Jar deck, which has since been retired to the Hall of Fame. Tolarian Academy was also given a Hall of Fame berth, we'll say. Those two decks both just seemed so absurd. I mean, I guess I Squadron Hawk because I got nothing else to do. This draw. It's not really getting better. See what happens. If he's got the Recur, we're in trouble. Doesn't have the black mana yet. Okay, that's a thing. I may just kill that Bird of Paradise and try to keep him off black. Ooh, now we got a game. Yeah, Spirit of the Night, sure. Interesting. He's just baiting me into killing his bird. I think I'm better off letting him get the spirit. I mean, if he does have the Recur, he goes Recur. He sacks bird for spirit. No, I'm just going to kill the stupid spirit. I don't want to get into this mess. I mean, pinching his mana is good too. It means I have time to draw into real cards before I sweep his board with Day of Judgment. I mean, it's not like I have a Day of Judgment deck. I had a one of in my sideboard. Oh, I should have let him finish survivaling first. That was dumb. Now I know. Now he can go get a bird. I thought he was done survivaling, but he gets a Wild Blossoms. Can't stop that. That's a very good creature to be able to sacrifice to Recurring Nightmare, but so yet he hasn't shown his black mana. Still hasn't shown his black mana. May have to go to Bird of Paradise. Also, we're doing a pretty good job of representing permission here. Like, I chose not to play my Squadron Hawks that turn, which he is definitely a good enough player to pick up on. I don't think I want to show him the Tech Edge yet. I want him to show me black mana, and then I can immediately kill it. Verdant Force. Man, Recurring Nightmare is so good here. Orcus Settlers. Oh, I hate the Orcus Settlers. Orcus Settlers sort of force me into action, unfortunately. Still no black mana. It's going to play the Orcus Settlers, which I have to allow. Now what? I can bounce them. I can Day of Judgment them. I feel like we played this game for a little while. If he comes up with his Recur, he can pay for Mana Leak. That doesn't help. And Flash Freeze only stops red and green spells. It's too late to stop the survival. Interesting. Yeah, no, I need Jace and Stoneforge, so push, push, push. Weird game. He also, well, he's got the Orcus Settler in his hand. He should run out of creatures eventually. Yeah. Kill it with Dismember, or do I go ahead and Day of Judgment? I feel like I need Day of Judgment to kill the Spirit of the Night, which Dismember doesn't do. Finally! Sure. Now do I go ahead and reshuffle with Squadron Hawk? Tapping out? If he goes Black Mana Recur, that's bad. But I can't do anything about it anyway, so I think yes is the answer. And I should have attacked first so I don't get Firestorm, but he's not going to Firestorm here. All right. Now then, we fade the Black Mana for another turn. We got a little bad winning this way. But I mean, I did mulligan into a mediocre draw that I've just had to kind of stitch together. Undiscovered Paradise, and he doesn't have the Recur. Wow. Now things are great. Now I can afford to risk a sword, right? Because I can counterspell Firestorm, which we already figured out is the only instant in his deck. Firestorm still stinging. Let me look at his sideboard. Are there instants in his sideboard? Emerald Charm. Untapped, doesn't do anything. He can make me lose flying. I can live with that. I mean, he's got Pyroblast, but he would have killed Jace by now. All right. Yeah, it sure seems like the play is sword. Oh, I don't have a land that comes into play untapped. So if I want to defend it with Flash Freeze, I need a land that comes into play untapped. Got there. Guess Inkmoth Nexus. It's that land. In theory, he can go Firestorm with Pyroblast backup. In which case, okay, he got me. I mean, he has to respond because he can't deal 3. He doesn't have the cards to discard. Interesting. I don't know what he's thinking about. Debating whether to respond? Yeah, he's got the Firestorm. And now he's out of cards. And now we win. Love it. All right. I'll attack. He has 0 cards in his hand. We get to untap all our lands. We get to reshuffle with Stoneforge Mystic. Go get the Batterskull. And to add insult to injury. No black mana for you, sir. Sorry. He's 11, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I guess there's no reason. Yeah, we got it. Wow. Wow.
Good games, sir. Good games.
Man, you destroyed me with that game 1 Firestorm. Oh my god, did I get destroyed.
You stabilized a bit, but yet, like, I thought you had counters, right? You were playing the whole time like you had something, and then you just said, screw you, I'm going to tap out and do this thing. And I'm like, all right, I got an answer for that one. And I don't know if I was like, so the second game I was playing, it might have been the first game at this point. Those games are long.
Yeah.
But I was playing the entire time around the fact that you don't have hard counter spells.
Right.
So like there were times when I'm like, every untapped island is a spell pierce, and I just have to play that way.
It was in game 2. You were correct.
Okay.
I had spell pierces for days in game 2.
So the deck certainly is a bit dated. The fact that I can't find any of my cards, like,
yeah,
I just have to draw the combo, or I'm a really bad beatdown deck.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you're a value deck, right? You're just like 2 for 1 you, 2 for 1 you, 2 for 1 you. In theory, all your cards should 2 for 1 me. That's the idea, right? You can play this like bad, grindy, mid-range attrition-y deck strategy.
Yeah. Ugh.
I was scared. The first game.
And the second game, if I had anything, like you had tapped out, like you obviously didn't have counter spells, and I had mana for days, unfortunately, because I kept drawing it.
Talking about the third game?
Third game. Yeah.
The third game, what I had, by the way, was Day of Judgment. I have 1 Wrath of God effect in my sideboard, and I had drawn it. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna like pretend I have permission, and maybe the game will just go long enough for me to draw cards, because I mulliganed into a 6-card hand. It was 4 land and 2 of the flyers. So my hand was terrible. 2 Squadron Hawks and 4 lands. But then I drew Day of Judgment. So I'm like, okay, he's got survival, but like, if he just dumps his hand on the table, I can sweep it away. If he goes and gets Spear of the Night, I can sweep it away. I thought you had a recurring nightmare and we're playing around mana leaks, which I was kind of representing.
Oh yeah, no, I just had a mana flood. Like I had nothing. So I was just cycling through my deck, like I was throwing things away, make it look like I have Rexer to try to slow you down. So you and I were both pretending. But
yeah, we were both flooded, it sounds like.
Yeah, so it was ultimately to make my deck smaller to try to find the Rexer.
Well, you know what happens when we're both flooded? The first guy to draw Jace is going to win that game.
I agree. Unfortunately, you forgot to put them in my deck list, so I blame you. I blame you on that one.
Yep. Great match.
Yeah, no, that was a really good match. I really liked it.